guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make a DIY light shade like this one here. I have chosen blue, pink, and it's not showing up too well, but neon yellow here. So my amazing friend Chloe told me all about how to make this. We've been sharing tips in isolation of DIY stuff to do. So here is a little tutorial for you. I hope you enjoy. Right, so here is how to make a tassel lampshade. Now I'm already halfway through this. I've done my blue, we've got a random bit of pink there. I've done my blue layer and I've done most of, not quite finished, but I've done most of my pink layer as well. I've chosen to do a 3-tier lampshade, so I'm also going to do a little bit of a clash with my top, but I'm also going to do a neon yellow underneath. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a lampshade outline like this. And you're also going to need, depending on how many rows you want, how many tiers, you're also going to need some embroidery hoops like this. So my lampshade is 25 centimetres. So I then bought a 20 centimetre hoop, embroidery hoop, and a 15 centimetre embroidery hoop. So we've got 5 centimetre gap in between. So it gets gradually smaller and smaller. When I first ordered this, they didn't actually, the outline, they didn't have any in white, sorry, they didn't have any in black, only in white. So I just decided, because my ceiling downstairs in the toilet, because the ceiling's black, I thought it's going to look a lot better if we've got black. Obviously it would look good whichever colour you wanted to spray it, or if you wanted to keep it white if you have a white ceiling. For me, I wanted to do it black. You'll notice that underneath here, you can see that I have actually threaded, well, I've looped around the wool on each of my embroidery hoops. So on this outline, I did that first with the blue, and then on this embroidery hoop, the first thing that I did was I literally tied a knot, wrap it all the way around. I haven't quite finished yet, and I haven't done this one, but that's the first thing that I'll do on this hoop, is I will wrap this wool around it. So, how do we make a tassel? That is the most important thing when it comes to making one of these. Now, you can see here exactly what my tassels look like. So I'll show you how to make one that looks exactly like this. Something that you're really going to need that will be incredibly important is a piece of cardboard or a piece of plastic. The reason why you would use this over paper is that it's much more durable. So if you use a piece of paper, it's not going to be very strong and it will break easily, because this is going to measure, it's going to help you measure exactly how long your tassels are going to be, so that your tassels are exactly the same length. I personally went for one this long. If you want longer tassels, just cut your cardboard a bit longer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start with our wool. Here's mine. And we're going to chop off a few pieces. Now you will need quite a few, because you're going to need 2 per tassel, but you can do this as you go along, so don't worry if you don't make too many. Roughly this long. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. That one's slightly longer there. They don't have to be the same length, these, but you want some spare pieces, because those are really going to come in handy in a second. So we're then going to start with our cardboard and a piece of wool, and I'm going to place the wool down on the cardboard here. I'm going to pop my left hand thumb on it. I am right-handed, so you might want to do this the other way around if you are left-handed. And I'm going to loop it round. Now, I did say I'd show you what I did. So to get to this shape, I'm going to loop it round 25 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And my thumb is still keeping that held down here. I'm then going to chop off my wool at the bottom. And it doesn't matter if you chop it off a bit too long, because you can cut it off, cut any excess pieces off at the end. So here you can see that my excess, where I've chopped it off, is at the bottom here. And you should have 2 ends that are at the bottom like that. The other one's here on the other side. So I'm going to get this little piece of wool, my extra bit that I chopped off just before, and I'm going to pop it underneath like so. And I'm then going to tie that at the top. And you need to tie this as tight as you possibly can. And I'm going to knot that twice. If you want to knot that thrice, why not? Go for it 3 times. So once that is in place and that's secure, knotted down, I'm then going to pull out the cardboard, and you should have a loop like this. I'm then going to pop my scissors into that loop, and I'm going to cut all of the bottom, and it should be roughly even then. So once you've chopped it, like so, you need to get the 2 pieces that you tied the top together with, and that's when we're then going to tie it onto the hoop. So you might want to put your thumb in between to get even space in here. It doesn't matter as much for the layers underneath, but obviously for your top row you want it to be perfect. But you might as well do it perfect anyway whilst you're going. So here it is. I've got my pieces of wool on either side of the hoop, and I'm going to tie a double knot here. In fact, I think I am going to do 3 knots. I'm going to live life on the edge. So, got my first knot there. Again, you want to tie this really, really tight. Second knot. And obviously, when you're doing it, you are not going to be holding it like this. It will be easier for you to balance it on a table or something. But just for the purpose of me showing you. So I've tied that on really tight there 3 times. I'm then going to just chop off these extra bits here from the top. So I've chopped the first bit off. You want to chop it near to the knot, but not too close to the knot that it will then come apart. And I'm then going to get my another piece of extra wool, and I'm going to go around, because you can see, just before I do it, you can see here that this is completely loose, and the other ones, we've got a nice little knot in there. So I'm going to tie around like so, and I'm just going to tie a knot here like that, and I'm going to do it a little bit loosely to start off with, just so I can check if my leveling is right. Does it match up? It's a little bit high. Let's pull it down a little bit. Yeah, and once you're happy with that, then go into your knot again, and you can then tie that tighter. And then once you've tied that, you are then good to chop off the extra bits if you need to. You might find actually that you don't need to chop off those extra bits, because the length might actually add up like it does here. So if your length is very similar to the ones that are already there, then you don't need to chop those bits off. So here it is, that is on there. So basically you're going to repeat that numerous times all the way around, and then once you have done that, you will get something that looks like this, or like the blue one. And what we're going to do then is we're going to literally place it underneath, depending on how much you want showing. You're going to tie it then together, and then once you've tied it together with a piece of wool, you are good to go, and you've finished your nice DIY lampshade. So what you want to do when you've finished all of your individual hoops is you want to literally just tie it on with a piece of yarn like that, and you just tie the pieces together, and then it will be attached like so. It's really, really easy. I used a pink piece of yarn here, and then I used a blue piece of yarn for this bit there, just so that you can't see it if you're choosing different colours, but you might want to have one colour, but I fancied 3 different colours. Just be careful obviously that you don't leave your light on for too long, because it can get hot, but I've sprayed this with a heat spray that I think it says 600 degrees, so that should be fine. Look, there we have it.